the Islamic Republic of Iran, after examining the relevant information, decided to object to the accreditation of Canadian Council for Israel and Jewish Advocacy.
The activities or the queries that have been raised by Iran are still to be addressed in a proper manner. So we believe that till the time this thing is not established, this particular NGO should not be accredited to this process.
My country fully joins the position of the OIC and the Arab group in opposing the accreditation of this Canadian Council for Israel and Jewish Advocacy.
On behalf of my country, I say that we support the position based by not admitting this NGO to participate in the PrepCom or in the review conference itself.
The insistence for the inclusion of this NGO in the Durban review process is political.
I would just reiterate what I had said this morning on behalf of the African group and what was reiterated by the distinguished ambassador of Algeria. Politics must be set aside.
The EU is ready to go ahead and accredit the NGO in question.
Distinguished delegation of Germany is requesting the Secretariat to confirm whether, according to our assessment, we believe the organizations concerned meets the criteria for its accreditation according to the decision adopted by the PrepCom, namely PC2. My answer is yes. The Secretariat believes that this organization meets the criteria established under PC2.
The Presidency believes that for us, in order not to vote, it seems that if we continue this discussion, we might resort to voting, that's for sure. And I do not think it's in the interest of this distinguished committee to start its first day in its substantive session by resorting to voting on the participation of one of the NGOs in our work. Thus, the Presidency, in order to facilitate the work of this committee, will request further information from this particular NGO. This information will be transmitted to Iran. If this additional information is in consonance with the criteria stipulated in this particular connection, then this NGO will be able to attend the forthcoming substantive session. The distinguished ambassador of Iran, you have the floor.
I am agree with your proposal for pending for more further and additional information.
President, I regret to inform you that we cannot join the consensus in your, your proposal.
The Secretariat has confirmed clearly to us that the NGO in question meets the criteria required. Secondly, Madam Chairperson, therefore, the rules of procedures requirements have been satisfied. All of the objections that have been raised by Iran have been successfully answered. We see no reason whatsoever to delay the decision-taking only to the second substantive PrepCom.
You have made a ruling, Madam Chair. This ruling has been challenged. The next step normally should be to take position on this ruling before we move forward.
I have a paper here that says that it cooperates with an Israeli fund that is for further settlements. Do you accept to take a decision on the status of this NGO within 48 hours, namely on Wednesday evening? You have the floor, sir.
Unfortunately, we cannot accept it.
The obligation is on our side to ask a precise question to the NGO, and that, I must say, has not been provided to us by the delegation of Iran. Thank you.
The representative of Iran is a member of the Bureau of the Preparatory Committee and has clarified the reasons and his motivation for the rejection when a meeting of the Bureau of the Preparatory Committee was held. At the latest meeting, in fact, that meeting took place just 3 or 4 days ago. As chairperson, I had asked the representative of Iran to include those objections in a letter and to convey them to the Secretariat. The delegation of Iran preferred to describe those objections during the meeting of the Preparatory Committee.
We would suggest waiting until Monday next week.
We are indeed able to go along with your latest proposal.
The Preparatory Committee has accepted the putting off of consideration of accreditation of this NGO, the Canadian Council for Israel and Jewish Advocacy, until next Monday.